Hello, greetings to everyone. Welcome to your show, Opinión Latina. My name is Jorge Rivas and my wife,
Betty Rivas. And
now she's looking very shiny, very Americanized, maybe because of the Super Bowl.
mainly because of the Super Bowl, which absolutely had us very busy and occupied,
I'm very excited.
like every year, because I was about to say a bad word. Sorry, but it just popped into my head. Should I say it?
Yes. No, better not.
No, well, it's just that because of the whole halftime show situation, I mean, you and I definitely both agree that they really shouldn't have sung that absolute garbage. Because it's honestly been a steady decline since then. I mean, speaking strictly as an artist myself, it's just not the same quality anymore. You know what I mean? It's just been going downhill for quite some time now.
Yes, well, we have to understand to begin with that for you and me who were born speaking Spanish. I mean, when we went to school for the first time, no, wait, let's go back a bit. When our mom started talking to us, our dads or whoever, they spoke to us in Spanish. And we went to school in Spanish in what is officially called Castilian. So if anyone knows Spanish, it's us. In other words, it's our native language. But when it comes to listening to these boys' music, we don't understand it.
Well, no.
I mean, that's a.
No, and forget about that. In other words, the letters. The lyrics of the song.
To tell you the truth, I've hardly ever listened to their music.
No, me neither. But at the restaurant, there was this one time with a guy. I won't mention his name. I remember that. All day long during his shifts, he would play songs by him.
Yes.
And honestly, I got so fed up with that same little sound over and over, the same thing.
And
all of the constant cursing and everything else like that. You know what I mean?
the lyrics
Of the music. The obscene lyrics, I mean, just terrible lyrics.
and
The only song that I think, well, no, I don't listen to his music. I mean, I think there's one, but I don't even know what it's called. I mean, I haven't even listened to it. Yeah, more or less, you know.
Another thing I know he tends to do is to dress up as a woman.
Oh, yeah, as a woman. And then besides that, people often say that he is a product of Chavismo and that his career started with money. Funded by Chavez over there in Venezuela.
And
that is precisely the reason why he feels he has no choice but to go along with all of this performative woke stuff, unfortunately. But that is certainly not a good development for the future of the Super Bowl because we all know that such a direction is not what the fans are looking for. Families get together with little kids.
sure,
I mean, it was absolutely awful, yeah.
I am well aware that the mainstream media and those massive corporations, much like they attempted to do just a few short years ago, these huge companies that truly wanted, if you will, to please every single person out there, to essentially be the perfect, pretty face for everyone, which we all know is completely impossible. And perhaps when you look at it to a certain extent, the entire NFL organization as a whole wants to please absolutely everyone too. In this specific case, saying, well, let's bring in a certain individual performer who dresses as a woman, some guy whose lyrics are explicitly dirty, highly obscene, and controversial. But honestly, when you really stop to think about it, like you said, it is a professional football broadcast and entertainment show, a game at the end of the day.
Family
oriented. So for us, it's something, well, not only do we not like it, but we also didn't watch it. I mean, we did see that he started singing.
Yes.
We saw that, but
we immediately switched to watch Kid Rock. Erica's idol, Kirk, which we loved. So quite sadly, and with so many incredibly talented Latino singers out there today who, yes, it is truly a shame.
If they wanted to have someone from Latin America or a Spanish-speaking singer, they had plenty of options to choose good singers from.
Good singers.
You can actually understand what they're saying.
Yeah, well, who would have given an excellent...
And also, consider what he specifically said during that television show.
Oh, at the Grammys?
At the
Grammys.
Just imagine where he said ice owl and other things. The man for us has very little brain. At least when he tries to talk like a normal person, like someone with common sense. I mean, maybe he has a bit of ability, some talent when it comes to writing dumb music.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, to begin with, what he said about Ice Out, well, that's just nonsense to us.
Yeah. But they applauded him and cheered him on as if he had, oh, and they shouted it from the rooftops.
As if he had found the cure for cancer.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe now they will finally give him a, what is that thing actually called?
Another award.
The medal they didn't give to the president. What's it called? The peace one? No.
The peace one.
No.
No.
And the most.
What was seen on social media, supposedly Gavin Newsom had said that February 8th was going to be the day of.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Dedicated, yes, it's truly for him.
Could that be true?
Yeah, I definitely saw it on my social media feeds.
I mean, how low we've sunk. I mean, why not look for someone who, an
example for
society, for young people, for a good one. I mean, someone who doesn't lead them to want to commit suicide, who doesn't lead them to want to take pills, to want to kill. I mean, all the filth that artists are promoting these days.
Yeah, and supposedly, look, I posted on my social media after the Grammys, I think it was Monday, and that he actively promoting that shimmering Ice Out right now.
And
they're cheering him on for it.
And
you are currently being threatened in so many different ways. Just because you simply said that you do not support the Ice Out.
And that you support enforcement?
Then yes, that you support good things. I mean, I said one is promoting hate and the other is, for me and for so many people, you're an example. You're an example of supporting what we should be supporting.
Yes, yes.
So to be honest, for me, that is incredibly heartbreaking. But regardless of that, we move on.
So the other one,
yes, let's talk about
the Grammys. Continuing with the topic of the Grammys, we also had another personality who is not very intelligent either. It seems to me that when an artist becomes famous and is selling a lot of music or making a lot of movies, they should take some time to take classes in
history and
in whatever subject, but so that
yes, to prepare themselves, basically.
To prepare themselves for a normal world where they can speak, can comment, and not say illogical things, silly things, things that to a certain extent don't make sense. For example, this girl named Billie Eilish. She said that no one is illegal on stolen land. I mean, if I ask myself, or if we were to ask her what she means by stolen land, I imagine she doesn't know the answer. I mean, from whom? Who was it stolen from? From whom? When was it stolen? How was it stolen? I mean, how did that happen?
And
if at the moment she bought her property, they told her, you know what? We're going to sell you this property. It is all going to be officially registered in your name. But you always have to keep the fact in mind that sooner or later somebody is eventually going to come along and ask you for your land. I mean, and she's not the first person to have made those kinds of comments.
A great many
people. But if we analyze the situation from the point of view of those people, I mean, here, who are they referring to when they say that this land was stolen, and who stole it from them?
Or,
I mean, because if we were to travel back in time, let's say, to the year 1500, or actually, if we go a little further back to the year 1300, back when there were absolutely no Europeans on the entire American continent, and only the indigenous people lived there, then we could certainly say that they were, without any doubt, 100% the rightful owners of the land, of all these lands. Although we are aware that they never utilized any specific type of formal title, they did not have a system of currency or money. And they certainly didn't have a modern concept of private property, such as saying, from this point here to that far corner is mine. And here is this official document that clearly proves it or certifies it. That it's my property. That didn't exist. There were simply groups of people who lived in certain areas and protected those areas depending on whether there was water, food, and the basic necessities. Yes, because that was the main concern. People didn't have cars, didn't have the internet, didn't have electricity. I mean, they didn't have bills. I mean, there was no concern about money.
About money,
So, but once the Europeans arrived, they started to colonize. That's why we call it land theft, because other people say, oh, it was stolen from Mexico. And you, as a Mexican, I imagine you've heard that many times.
So many times, yes. Well, people use that to defend themselves, saying that these lands were stolen from Mexico.
And
Well, they weren't stolen, they were bought.
they were bought too. But at the same time, we have to understand that everything that is now known as Mexico, Central and South America, part of South America, all of it was New Spain. In other words, it was controlled by the Spanish viceroyalty for hundreds of years. We're not talking about 20 or 30 years, no, we're talking about hundreds of years. And many of the cities that were established in what is now called the southwest of the United States, like Santa Fe, Tucson, and many others. And I mention that because those were established in the 1600s, 1700s, so a long time ago. Yes.
But before that, the indigenous peoples were there.
Yes, but when it stopped being Spanish property and Mexico became Mexico and Central America became Central America, at that point, Mexico didn't have the capacity, didn't have the money, didn't have the government, didn't have an army to protect those territories. So those were open territories. And we know that back then, the strongest one was the one who took
the biggest piece of the pie. The one who divides and distributes ends up with the largest share.
So when you think about it, it is actually a...
So right now, I'm just remembering how on TikTok, on Facebook, and all over everywhere else, they always call us Indians. We have laughed so much about all those various hilarious nicknames they give us, and especially that term, the Indians.
The pair of Indians for defending the rights.
Members of the National Army for protecting and defending the president, because they keep saying that we think we're gringos.
No, we don't think we're gringos, but to them we're
Indians.
So what I was going to say, as we've already talked about,
yeah, it is simply the fact that we are Indians. So that is why
those properties of the artist Billie Eilish might actually be belonging to us. They actually belong to our ancestors. So maybe,
like you said, well, they should send me the deeds too, right here.
So for all of those people living out there in California, especially, who truly believe they are living on indigenous land, I currently live in Tucson, Arizona. And please, I am telling you, you can contact me anytime, whenever you are finally ready to transfer your house and your entire property. I am more than ready to take it off your hands. I mean,
because of how indigenous I am.
Because of how indigenous I am. And since you say you're living on stolen land, that'll surely make you feel a lot better about it.
Fine.
I will even buy you a first-class ticket, so you can finally go back to Europe, or wherever it is you originally came from. And well, we keep making friends. Or, I mean, maybe you let them come back once a year for vacation.
Oh, we have laughed together so much lately.
No, but it all comes down to people just wanting to say something to get applause, or they're just there like they're...
A few.
No, that is not exactly the correct answer at all.
But they think they've accomplished the greatest feat of their lives by saying ice out, and the other one with her nonsense.
Common sense sadly doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist there, and unfortunately, as we already know, in all those awards shows, well, nowadays sometimes you can even buy them. I don't know, imagine a Grammy. It used to be the ultimate achievement.
Or they just give it to someone simply so it looks good.
To make it look good.
Yes.
That,
like Obama, who was given the Nobel Peace Prize.
Huh?
Peace. And there wasn't. The man hadn't
done anything.
I've never even gone to see a live boxing match and shouted out at them, hey, stop boxing.
In peace?
Create and build
peace. At least he said make peace. Oh, now he deserves the prize. Just like, oh, no.
As always, it is now the perfect time to teach our young children good moral values and strong common sense. Take them to church, give them the love and time they need so they don't end up so foolish and so...
And respect all the different law enforcement officers. I mean, respect them like before. It was...
thought I was going to...
say, in our old days. Not...
that old, really?
Sorry, not that old. Well, back then, they always taught us that we really had to respect the police force.
No, that is not the case. And to a certain extent, we also read books, as we were specifically taught to do so.
We are talking about our children, of course, and their entire future, yes. But when it comes to the leftists, I am telling you right now that conservative people do teach traditional values. Of course, they do, but these other people are moving backwards in a strange way, just like crabs scuttling across the sand.
Thank you very much again. Thanks for tuning in. As always, we remind you that
if you enjoyed this, please give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and share us with your friends.
May God bless you. Thank you very much.